Well, welcome to the Redlands Camera Club. I am excited to be. My name's Bruce Herwig. We're going to be talking about the controversial topic about AI, but we're not going to be AI in photography specifically, uh, but not the uh,
Fun stuff.
not with Stan. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Photography, not in editing though. There is a lot of use cases for AI that have nothing to do with editing. And we're going to be going over some of those tonight. It is intended to be interactive. So as you have questions and as you see examples, and if you have a question that you would like AI to answer, I will be happy to type that into my AI. Just a little
Bruce,
bit of
are we supposed to be seeing your slides?
just so far, just me.
Okay.
And so far, I have no slides because this is all going to be in the browser. We're going to be taking a look at the chat browsers. I'm going to be going over the three different types of browsers. But yes, nothing to click. But that does remind me, where is the chat? Here is the chat. And I should be able to send to everyone. And I do have a handout. Let's see if that goes in there. Haha. 101 questions you can ask AI about photography. And we're going to be going through all 101. No, we're not. And you're very grateful. But we are going to hit some highlights. And then you can use that you can use that as a background. Just a couple of a bit of background about me and AI. I decided in 2020 five in January that that was going to be the year of AI for me, that I was going to learn AI. So I decided every single day to do one thing in AI. That might be read an article, it might be watch a video, it might be type something into AI, it might be uh, going to hear a speaker. There was all kinds of things that I needed to do, but I was going to learn AI, and just over time, I'm technologically bent anyway, and so was starting to learn AI. Helped the Loma Linda Chamber of Commerce put on their AI program for their leadership summit. I've spoken about AI to several different chambers across the Inland Empire, and in photography, have used AI, leveraged AI, and every day in my personal life and at work, I use AI, and I find it to be incredibly helpful, not only in um, my professional, but my personal life. It is also one of the best teaching tools that has ever been created for customized learning. And so, one of the things that we're trying to do here at the Redlands Camera Club is to learn about photography, learn, shoot, edit, share. So, all through four of those things can be enhanced with AI. And Jim Hendon, did you jump on the call yet?
I did, Bruce. Can you hear me?
Okay, good. You're not up yet. I did want to make sure you're there in case I didn't call on anybody who wasn't. So,
Sorry.
first thing, AI, you have to tell it what hat you are wearing. So, one of the things in prompting, and prompting just means asking the question, is if you can tell it, give it context about what it should be. So, for example, if I say, tell me about the Milky Way, if I'm asking a scientist, it's going to give me one answer. But if I'm asking an artist, it's going to give me a different answer. If I'm asking a musician, it's going to give you a different answer. So you need to know what hat you want the AI to play in answering your questions about photography or about whatever it is that you're learning. So we're going to be looking at that. I have with me tonight. Cannot minimize Zoom when you're recording this meeting. What do you mean I can't minimize, but I can put stuff in front of it. Ha ha ha. Okay, I have four AIs or three AIs that I use. One is Gemini. So Gemini is an AI that I use. I have ChatGTP, which is for a lot of people, that was the first one that they had. That is an AI. And I also use Claude. So Claude is an AI that I use. So home, uh, that's because I use Claude Code is what I switched to. So you can see that they all pretty much the same. They have a place that you can ask a question. And the key to AI is not the first question that you ask. It's the second and the third questions that you ask. If you're just asking a factual question, for example, how many megapixels does the Nikon Z8 have? Okay, you could use Google for that. But now, if you want to know, okay, how many megapixels, all right, and then that's an easy one. That's a low one. But how does the Z8 compare to the Z9? How does what is the crop sensor compared to a different kind of what are the options? Micro Four Thirds. How does Sony compare to Canon? And we're going to be able to answer those kinds of questions to AI, to the AI. So, just by a show of hands here, how many have used and how many have used one of the chat? How many have used one of the chat uh, GTPs or whatever? Okay, Heidi and Linda, I see a thumbs up. You can thumbs up. Yep, Deborah, Jim. Yep. And there are a lot of people have. Some of you have used AI in Lightroom and Photoshop and you didn't even know it. Russ, good to see that you're using AI. Some people are just scared spitless about this technology and haven't even seen it in action. So, want to make sure that we're fixing that. One of the practical things I find in AI is to think about one of the hard what do you find hard and ask AI to do it. So for me, one of the hardest things I have is titling my photos. Does anybody else have that issue? I've taken a nice photo. I want to enter it into a competition. I just cannot come up with a title. So ask AI to do it. So what I do is I'm going to take my photo, and this is from my Taco Tio and
Is something that
Linda.
you would like us to see? Because we don't see your screen.
You're not seeing my screen?
Nope.
Well, we got to fix that. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Share desktop. We're going to be looking at, I'm going to be using Claude here just because it's easy. And I have my photos. Here are my photos from yesterday. Linda, this is not an AI tip, but this is just a good tip. Find out what other people are shooting and look at their perspective. Linda had her camera trained on this chair, and I didn't even see the chair, but she's at it and she's taking photos after photos, and then I go over and I look at it from her perspective. Go, this is a nice photo. So I like this one a lot. It's one of my favorites that I took. So I'm just going to pop that in to here. And I'm going to type something. I remember I'm going to tell it what hat what I'm going to give it some context. You are a photo judge. I need a award winning name for this picture. Okay, so I told it who it is, I told it what I want. Now, how many names do I want? Because you can tell it what you want. I'm going to ask it for 5 names with various perspectives. All right, let's see what it comes up with. Oh, it's going to be thinking. First, it has to look at it. Oh, see, it tells me what it is. 5 title options. El Sol que sonare. Okay, it's in Spanish here. The sun that smiles. Oh, I like that right away. The sun that smiles. That is a good one. And then it tells me a little bit more. Keeper of the gate, weathered radiance, chiseled in light, still shining. Okay, so if I had to pick one for a competition entry, I would say Keeper of the Gate. Okay, that's interesting. Um, judges, and then I was going to give me commentary on what judges see or don't see. Okay, the sun that smiles. Okay, that would be my favorite. That would be my favorite one of here. So let's say I don't like any of them, or I like this one, but I want more options. Give me more options like this. The son of wood, midday sun, and I could use the Spanish. Else, anybody can pronounce these things? Blessings of the gate. Oh, that's another good one. Eternal smile. That's good. Faces of summer. See, I would not. I would have come up with sun on the back of chair. Not that creative. Uh, and so naming photos is a fantastic way to use AI. Now, what if I need a caption? Oh, sometimes the contests require you to have a caption. All right, well, let me pick a different photo just for grins. All right, I think I would have called this one Fruit Loops or Toucan. All right, give me, I'm in the same conversation here. So it already knows that it's a photo judge. So I'm not, if I started a new conversation, I could have a new hat if I chose, but I like where I'm headed here. Give me title and uh, 2 paragraph, 2 paragraph caption. And I'm going to give it some context. So I'll help it give it come. This was taken at Tio's Taco Riverside. See what it gives us. The tin toucan. Oh, see, that's so much better than Fruit Loops. Oh, it's gonna give me a whole researched. Oh, it tells me what it's seen. It tells me who the author was of the restaurant. It tells me about the menagerie of all of the other characters that it's seen. That is good. Okay, now this is too long. I only want 3 sentences. The tin toucan. Okay, I like it. So This is a way of using AI in your photography without touching Photoshop. And it's very, very helpful if you've been in a competition, if you are, and this is just an opportunity to open your horizons, to have things seen from another perspective. Now, you could also ask uh, your friend. They may have an idea for you. All right, another way to use AI in your photography, and I'm going to stop sharing here, is planning a photo trip. Now, Jim and I have been talking back and forth, and we were using AI last year. And Jim, why don't you tell us what we were doing and how it worked out?
Well, I want to thank Bruce for being a good AI educator and an AI encourager. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
So I thought, how smart can this thing be? I mean, does it actually know how to tell me where to go on a photo trip? I've been to the Eastern Sierra on and off for most of my adult life, and I thought, I'm the guy who knows where to go in the Eastern Sierra to take pictures of fall color. So after talking with Bruce, I went to ChatGPT and I said, where should I take pictures of fall color in the Eastern Sierra? And it came up with a great list. And I told Bruce about it. And he said, Jim, you need to be much harder on the AI tool. You need to be more demanding. Tell it what you really want. And I said, how about if I ask for a 5-day itinerary for photographing Eastern Sierra fall color? So I typed in, I need an itinerary for the autumn landscape colors in the Eastern Sierra Nevada photography. And it came right back with a 5-day itinerary, including recommended places to stay. Twin Lakes, Bridgeport, Conway Summit, Mono Lake. Those of you who have been to the area are familiar with these locations. South Fork of Bishop Creek, Lake Sabrina. One after another, there must be 24 locations in the 5-day itinerary. Now, having said that, it's not perfect. It recommends, for example, that you shoot fall color at Convict Lake in the afternoon. Most of us know, if you've been to Convict Lake, that in the afternoon, the whole thing is thrown into a big shadow. So they were wrong about that. And they also did things like recommend that you stay in Lone Pine on the same day that you take pictures up in Bridgeport, which is like an hour and 45 minutes of a drive. So the logistics weren't quite right, but it gave me a big fat cafeteria tray of places to go and even suggested what time of day to shoot. So as a starting point, there's a lot about AI. You say, okay, let me take a shortcut. I'm going to take a shortcut to a 5-day Eastern Sierra itinerary. And instead of spending 2 or 3 hours figuring it out on your own, this tool gives it to you and you spend 30 minutes refining it. And then you really got something because you can't remember everything that AI is going to find. So I was humbled by that. I just want to say also that I really appreciate Bruce including me in this talk. I have a lot of appreciation for Bruce as a leader and a photographer. He's a guy who shares. He's a guy who's fearless about learning. But there's one other thing you got to know about Bruce, and that is if you take him to your favorite spot, he's probably going to take a picture that's better than yours. So I thought, what if AI could help me with that problem? So I went to ChatGPT and I typed in, how do I take photos as good as Bruce Irwig? And it came back. It said, if you're referring to Bruce Herwig, the Southern California photographer, known for his landscapes, night photography, star trails, and striking compositions, the goal isn't to copy his work, but to understand the habits and techniques that make it compelling. And then it goes into an extended list of the various excellent qualities of Bruce. I won't bore us all with those many extended qualities because he's already got a big head. But darned if AI didn't give me a fighting chance. to compete with Bruce. So that's my second example for the night.
Jim, that is fantastic. That is hysterical.
Now
Thank
you
you
don't get to
for
see what I found, Bruce, because I
no,
don't want you, I want you to forget about some of the things you're good at so I can steal them. Okay.
this is kind of like Googling yourself, except now you can AI yourself and find out about other people. But that is a great example. Another thing you could do on this photo trip. Okay, let's say you are pin. I'm going to pin. Boom. Let's say on the photo trip you have a dog. Now you need to find dog-friendly places to stay. It'll narrow that list down. Let's say that you have an allergy or that you have special dietary needs. You only like Chinese food. So it you or you're like me, you can only eat brisket when you're in the Eastern Sierras. It'll give you all of the best places to stay as you're traveling up.
Well, I just told a buddy of mine, I said, I'm gonna trick Chat GPT. I'm gonna ask Chat GPT where you can get the best burrito in Lee Vining,
That's
knowing that there was nowhere in Lee Vining to get a burrito. I wanted to see if I could get the computer to blow a fuse. Well, I'm not up to date. There is a place in Lee Vining that's fairly new and they've got burritos. And then if you don't like that, you can go over to the mobile station and get a breakfast burrito. So, now they would have sent me down to Mammoth or, it's tough to stump the AI. I'll tell you, I've tried many times.
that is hysterical. And what's really crazy, my brother is the head of AI implementation at his company in Florida. And he's doing back end processes for automation and front end for on the sales team. And now I'm starting to do AI automation on some of the marketing stuff that I'm doing at work. And this is as bad as it's ever going to get. Jim, you were telling us about this problem that it had. That was a year ago. I bet you a buck it figured it all out now, that the itinerary would be, perfect and it's because this is as bad as it's ever going to get. It's only going to get better from here. So that is a good one. So let's say now I want to take a
Bruce,
yes,
Bruce, when I teach my landscaping class,
right?
a big part of it is doing research on when and where are you going to go. And I have promoted AI for a little over a year just on the landscaping aspect of it. And, well, okay, so I want to go to Badlands, or I want to go, when is the best time for photography? Or Cannon Beach in Oregon. When is the best time for photography? And not only that, but when is the best tide at Cannon Beach for photography? Once you found out that it's a certain month, when is the best tide for photography? So, yeah, Jim's been doing it longer than I have, but um, I'm not there where I want to find out where the best breakfast burrito is, but who knows?
Dave, get your priorities straight. Food first, photography second,
Yeah.
or photography first, food second. Hand in hand, left foot, right foot. That's awesome. I'm going to share my screen. Let's actually run that. I'm gonna do a new chat. I'll use a different tool. Use Chat GTP. That may be one that you're more familiar with. All right, new chat. New chat. New chat. Where should we begin? Ta-da. Okay. Let's do Joshua Tree because that's local. All right. What is the best time of year? Okay, let me give it its hat. You are a photo tour expert. What is the best time of year to photograph Joshua Tree? All right, that's a very broad question. And of course, it depends what you're awning. Oh, I've got star ratings, November to February. Okay, that is definitely when it is cooler. Okay, tells me what time. Oh, wildflowers, March through April. How about that? Late October, pleasant temperatures. May, great light, fewer crowds. June through September. June through September, 1 star. Dangerous heat, haze, limited hiking. All right, good to know. Different types. Ah, this is what we're talking about. If you're trying to get golden light, night photography. Okay. July through August, still excellent, often with monsoon clouds adding drama. I've never experienced monsoon clouds in July through August, but maybe. Wildflowers, March. Okay, now shoot. Now you got an entire year. If I can only choose 1 week, comfortable hiking, clean desert air, sunrise, manageable clouds. Boom. Tells me here. Now, remember we talked about the power of the first question? Now the real power comes in the second and third one. So I had this big picture overview. Now I'm going to narrow that down. 3-day camping trip with a dog uh, in a tent. Where should I stay? Okay, let's see if it knows it's Joshua Tree. Uh-huh. You want Skull Rock, Arch Rock, Split Rock, Hidden Valley, Barker Dam. Man, oh man, that would be an excellent thing over there. So it recommends Jumbo Rocks. How many of you ever stayed at Jumbo Rocks before? That is a nice campground. It's actually one of my favorites. Is Jumbo Rock has the Juniper and Monolith over there. Ryan Campbell. Okay, interesting. It's having you stay over on the east side of the campground. And of course, that's because if you're a night shooter, you want to have darker skies, and that's where they are. This is where I wouldn't go. Hidden Valley, interesting. So it does both the pluses and the minuses. Where to go, where to sunset at Keys Views. That is awesome if you've ever had sunset at Keys Views. Sunrise at Skull Rock, that would be epic. Sunset at Arch Rock, oh, that is so good. Sunrise at Troya Cactus Garden, clearly. Pinto Basin, exit through the south. Okay, hold it. I didn't even ask it over here. It just knows that I'm a photographer. Camera gear I'd pack. This is what lens is, whatever. Okay, now I'm going to ask that. I'm going to ask another question. Let's see, award winning photo of a Joshua tree at sunset. What would my camera settings be? Oh, interesting. It's going with a long lens. Interesting. Landscape 24 to 70, of course. Ultra wide 14 to 20. Nice. F11, of course, for landscape. That's exactly what you would expect. ISO, low ISO for low noise. And then, you could put it on AV mode. It's automatically going to pick your shutter speed for you. So you're not getting any movement over here. This is exposed for the sky. Now it's going to give me tips on that. White balance, focus, composition, bracket. Okay. It's even suggesting HDR. Okay. And then what's going to make it award winning? This is fantastic. Weather, lighting, and subject. Of course, you got to have, if you're going to have if you're going to have an award winning sunset, you have to have clouds in the sky. The lighting is going to have to be sideways lighting, which is exactly what it grazing the horizon. That's what it's talking about. Sideways lighting. Subject, distinct silhouette. Yep, all Joshua trees are not created equal. Totally agree that. Most trees are ordinary. Few have striking structural forms. Man, Thomas and I were out the other day, and there was just this one beautiful silhouetted Joshua tree. Just gorgeous. Equal on both sides, beautifully silhouetted. And it was like, that's the tree that we're going to go after. Camera, ISO, f11. Perfect, 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 perfect. I would endorse all of these things. It's incredible. Now, what about, I'm going to start a new chat. We're going to jump over to a different tool. I'm going to use Gemini over here. Might get, I don't want these guys jealous or fighting. Okay, Rick Strobaugh keeps telling me about blinkies. What? All right, so you are a photo teacher. What is a blinky? Blinkies. Okay, aha. Highlight, clipped warning. Oh, so where a camera where it's clipped, where you've blown out your subject, where it's overexposed, it will flash, i.e., blink, where that's at. Interesting. Okay, blinks. Why does it matter? Because you blow out your photos and you've lost information. We don't want it. So it's telling me how to fix them. Okay, this is helpful. Now, that's great. Now that I know what a blinky is, how do how do I turn it on my camera? Okay. Again, you can look at your manual. You can look it up on YouTube. You can also ask your favorite AI. I have a Canon EOS R. How do I turn on the blinkies? Step one. Step two. It's going to show me exactly two. So I didn't have to have my manual. I didn't have to remember my manual. I didn't have to find it up because it knew that I didn't. Because if I looked up in my manual B for blinkies, it wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But it knew that on Canon, it calls it highlight alert. Okay. What do they call the blinkies in Nikon? They call it also highlight alert. How about that? What do they call it on a Sony? Somebody's got to be different. Aha, zebras. See? So if I looked up blinkies, I wouldn't find it. If I looked up highlight, wouldn't find it. It's zebras on a Sony. Same song, second verse, same thing. All right. Who has a question that they would like to ask they would like me to ask about their camera or something that they've been trying to figure out? Oh, Dorothy, Dorothy Cunningham, you were asking about ICM. What is ICM? So if you ever go to a camera club meeting and you feel silly asking a question, one, don't, because if you have the question, other people do. But let's say you're shy and you're new and you don't know anybody that you'd feel comfortable asking, you can just pull out your little phone. What is ICM? Intentional camera movement. How about that? And it tells me exactly what to do, how to do it, how to take it. This is handy, handy dandy for sure. So we've looked at how to plan a trip. We've taken a look at how to ask the questions. We've taken a look at how to find stuff on your camera. We figured out how to name to identify and name, find some good creative photography. We haven't been into Photoshop at all. Not even once. Now, here is an idea. Um, I run into this a lot where I'm in a piece of software and I don't know how to do anything. Anybody can relate to that?
You bet.
Oh yeah, Lightroom, Photoshop, very, very complex. And I don't know if they pay these guys to make it so complex. But this little help thing, this is the most unhelpful thing I've ever experienced in um, for help. I mean, it's a lousy piece of help. So there's almost a better way than go to the help in help. But let's say I'm trying to open up a picture over here. Let me pick one that I've recently done. Ah, Glenn, this was a photo here that I took in Death Valley at the racetrack. We got a nice little rock here. Okay, I want to turn it into black and white. Let's pretend I don't know how to turn it into black and white. Because look at all these menus. It could be in, it is intimidating for me just to go by it. It is so, I mean, there's, oh yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter which menu, there's 100 options, 100 options. So I could just go to my handy dandy chat. How do I turn a photo into black and white in Photoshop? Okay, I can do an adjustment layer. Okay. What is adjustment layer? You don't even have to type it right and it'll get it right. All right, Lightroom, key advantages. All right, da, 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 da. I don't want to do that. It sounds too complicated. Camera raw filter. I like that idea. Select your image, go to the top of the menu and choose filter, camera raw filter. All right, so let's see this. Photoshop, filter. Sorry, it's in the way. Filter, camera raw filter. Oh, what do you know? Camera raw filter, color, monochrome. Ah, just like it said. And I can edit it straight from here like I do normally. And this, by the way, if somebody says, I use Photoshop versus Lightroom, whatever, the engine is the exact same for camera raw filter, which is just handy dandy. I'm just pushing buttons here. Bump, bump. I like that. I like that. I like that. Make it crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. I like. I'm going to do black and white mixer. What does that do? Push the button. Oh, all right. I like that. Fade it. Okay, I've got my edits. Good. Used AI to help me figure out the software. So if you don't happen to know what a if you don't know what a neural filter is, well, let's go down the chat. What is it? Photoshop. What is a Photoshop neural filter? So it's like you have a teacher right there with you all the time. All right. Here's a photo. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot. Let's take a screenshot of this photo. Paste that in there. How would you recommend I edit this photo? Color or black and white? Let's see what it says. 'Cause I bet you can do based on emphasis on texture, dramatic coloring, color distractions. Oh, you would choose black and white. Interesting. Which, by the way, is what I chose as well. How to do it, exactly what steps. Add a curve layer adjustment, spot heal and retouching, healing brush. Ay. This is exactly what I did, and I didn't even ask AI. I'm going to pull it up um, just because I've got an audience here. Glenn and I went to Death Valley, and we've been having a ball just editing our photo, editing the photos. I'm going to go to my library here. This is astrophotography. This was our star trip, Death Valley, Canon. Boom. This was my. There we go. So that was exactly what I chose to do. Was we're in alignment. I don't know if that's good or not. This was my one of my final edits here. This was my favorite one over here. Used a black border on that. Used a white border with a black setting, and just super pleased with how this one turned out. So using AI in your photography, even in editing, but not doing the editing. I didn't go in here and uh, didn't use generative fill. If I said, add a cactus, okay, this is where a lot of people get stuck thinking that this is the only kind of AI that there is when you're adding items. And we don't add items. We're uh, editing items. We wouldn't include this in any sort of competition because it didn't make, it made that cactus up. It wasn't there before. That edit is way different than me using this healing tool, one of the remove tools down over here. And even though this remove tool is AI, it's no different than the cloning tool was back in the day. So I can take out those distractions, even though that's AI. But we're talking about chatbots. Got a little distracted there. All right, let's take a look. I've got 101 things. Planning location scouting, camera gear and equipment. Camera gear. What lens should I buy? Oh, that's a good one. What what lens should I buy? Okay, now that is such a generic, large question. What kinds of questions do you think I should tell it? Or think your parameters I should tell it?
For shooting wolves in Yellowstone.
Okay, there we go. I am going to Yellowstone and want to photograph wolves. Or maybe I want to rent a lens. Short answer, something with a long zoom. Okay. Mr. Ficky, what kind of lens do you have for shooting wolves in Yellowstone?
A 400 f2.8 with a 1.7 converter.
Okay, so I am comparing
That
here.
puts me at around 600 millimeters.
What? Let's see. What about an F4 2.8? What kind of converter?
1.7, and it's F28, or no, yeah, yeah, there you go.
All right. Oh, that's about a budget. Okay, zoom, zoom, zoom. This is an absolutely world-class setup Yellowstone. Absolutely. You end up with a nice reach under F5. You get the sharpness. Oh, other people do that. Okay, now here it's going to push back a little bit. Why I still recommend. Interesting. Oh, this is funny. It's putting itself in the first person. I have watched. Wolf sightings are often hundreds of miles away. If money were no object, okay, yep. All right. I have a budget of $1,000.
Not going to happen.
Okay.
Well, that's a good challenge, Bruce.
To get it used.
Okay. I'd change my advice completely. Oh, you mean budget matters? How about that? Okay. All right. Camera brand, camera model. Okay, that's good. Sony used. All right. Canon used, right? Nikon rent. Oh, look at this. Rent instead of buy. I hadn't even considered that. So it's walking me. I'm just asking the question. And again, the power of the second question and the third question.
But Bruce, you forgot. What if I used a taser on somebody who had a 800 millimeter lens?
And then ran away with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know,
Where do I bury the body?
there you go.
I'm not gonna hit enter
They'll
on
be
that.
coming looking for your search history.
Okay. Okay. If I rank the options, okay. Rent versus new versus buy, used, pluses and minuses. Minus. Minus. Pluses and minuses. Hey, now it's helping me think through. It's helping me think through. Rent, pros, cons. I'd much rather own a used professional lens than a new consumer lens. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. How many of you pros out there would agree with that? Absolutely. That's why our sponsor, word from our sponsor, MPB, is an opportunity. But that's exactly what I do. All of my lenses are used unless I won them in a photo contest and then they're new. Everything else is used. I only buy used gear. In fact, I only buy used gear that is a generation behind what it would be, because then I could even get it for cheaper. So good used lenses are a great option. Again, there's the money is no object. This is a good question.
I want to point out that it took over a year for me to come up with the dough for that 400 millimeter lens.
That's right.
So, it's once again, what is it that you want and what are you willing to sacrifice? So, I sacrificed quite a bit because it was a good chunk of money. And guess what? I'm very, very happy with it.
That's
Uh,
right.
the quality is what I spent that year on in researching between the 400, the 500, the 600, and the 400 kept coming up top. So,
And because you're going back to Yellowstone, this isn't a one-time trip. You're
correct.
planning, you shoot other wildlife in other locations. You've got, things are stacking up. So if I'm okay, let me ask this. I'm a brand New photographer. Sh- Okay. This is where I don't know if this is going to work on Zoom. All right. Are you there? I am a brand new photographer. I am trying to figure out if I should buy a lens. I'm going to Yosemite for the first time. I'm not sure if I like, uh, you know, photography even. I think I might. I want to do some long, I heard the bison are out there, but I also want to get some flowers, maybe some pictures of the sunset. What kind of lens should I buy? I didn't type into that at all. I'm just talking to it. So it's gonna it's gonna convert it. I wasn't even, intelligible. I'm just kind of top of mind. Talking to your AI will change your relationship to AI. Good all around zoom lens. Yep. What if you fall in love with it? What if you do landscapes? What if you do flowers? Yeah, hold it. Three different genres of photography, three different lenses. That makes sense.
And
So,
Bruce, what would be the best strategy for photographing a bison with a 17 millimeter?
The answer is simple, very simple. You put on
Track
your
shoes.
Adidas track shoes and you run
Track
like,
shoes.
Mm.
you run like the Dickens.
I
yeah.
want to see if I
Absolutely.
want to see if AI will tell me this. Don't even think about it, fool.
Okay. You were serious.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to
All right.
know if, I mean, does it understand that that's a dumbass thing to do,
We're gonna ignore that part.
Did you hear about the grandfather that got thrown 10 feet into the air by a bison?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a couple days ago. So,
saw the video.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's ask the question. All right, let's pretend I wanted to go to Yosemite and take a photograph of a bison with a 17 millimeter wide angle lens.
You're not
What's
going
my
to
best strategy?
Yosemite, but whatever.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Ha ha, it says. There aren't any bison in Yosemite. Okay, wise guy. How do I photograph large wild animals? You don't make the lens longer, you change the story you're telling. Ah, and this is where it's called pivoting. You pivot. You don't take a zoom lens or you don't take a close up, you show it in its surroundings. You use it as a sense of scale. Boom. A lone bison grazing, a dramatic sunset with the bison in the background. It's only a tiny piece of your frame. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not about the animal, it's about the place. See, you pivot. And so we talk about pre-visualization in photography. This is where planning and preparing. Now, there's nothing like experience. You get out there and you have something in mind, and then it doesn't work out, and then you have to pivot. This is helping you advance prepare in advance. Because you go out there, your lens breaks, you lose your lens, a bison runs over your lens. Your lens is stolen. Who knows what's going to happen? You have to pivot. You've already paid the money to get there. If I only had a 17 lens, a millimeter lens in Yellowstone, change what you're photographing. Tweak it. I love it. Okay. Your pictures are
Well,
now. Oh, now it's quoting photographers for me. Oh, this is fantastic.
it's extraordinary because, from my understanding, AI is trained to be helpful. They're trained to be helpful, so they wouldn't just pivot and say, "You're too stupid to go to Yellowstone if you think you can use that lens." It basically told you what you could do with the lens, not that what you can't.
Yep.
It's pretty extraordinary.
Okay. Let's move to a different AI. All right. What? Sometimes you're stuck and you don't know what to photograph, or you're going to a place that you've never been before. And you're trying to figure out what to do. All right. What? You are a photo expert. So again, putting on my hat. I want to take photos in San Diego. Give me a list for a 1 day trip. Again, back to thinking about itineraries, location scanning. Look at this. Sunrise, perfect. Midday, afternoon, Torrey Pines, blue hour, golden hour. Who was mentioning the tides? Dave, that was you. You were mentioning the tides. So not only the place, but the tides. All right. Now I'm really stuck in my photography. I need help. I'm gonna do a new chat here. I'm stuck as a photographer. I need a challenge. Give me things in my town to photograph. All right, so we're in Redlands. All right, so this is going to hopefully pick us some iconic things. Oh, it's going to give me a 50 mm challenge. Only use one lens. Oh, how about this? Haha, it's my photo that I took. Well, that's fun. How did AI get my photo? It's another photo that I took. Orange Street Alley, historic areas, Prospect Park. Ah, one tree, one rock, one bench, one flower, one bird, one stranger. Wow. Black and white day. Phew. University, go to University of Redlands, walk around.
Bruce, I must point out that it said a photograph of one stranger with permission. You don't need permission unless you're going to publish it or use it for commercial.
Good thing to note. After dark, square block, month-long projects. Oh, shoot, I'm really stuck. We're old storefront, murals, bicycles, coffee shops. Shoot, churches. Not only churches, okay, Jim Hendon, churches with stained glass, for an example. How long could that take? Ah, I wanted to do the murals of Redlands. So I just picked State Street, one plus and one plus blocks, one block left, one block right. I thought, how many can there be? 5, 10? It was over 30. I love it. Challenges. Challenge, challenge, challenge. So the point being, there is a ton of way that you can use AI to encourage you in photography, to increase your skill, to increase your planning, to be inspired. What are the top 10 photo uh, movies that I need to watch? Ooh, it'll give it to me. The sky is the limit because we are talking about the sum of human knowledge at your fingertips, and it is our privilege and responsibility to use this thing for good. It's pretty darn cheap. And somebody asked here, do I subscribe to any of these AIs? Actually, yes, I subscribe to Claude. That's the one that I pay for. I used to pay for Chat GPT, then I switched to Claude because I wanted to use Claude Code. Um, and then Google, because I pay for Google storage, I get some of the Gemini stuff. So I don't. So I'm going to share my screen again. I promised that I would share two tools that I've created using AI that I think are pretty fun. One is to help photographers get ready for competitions. AIPhotojudge.com. So this is a monthly challenge that I put out in terms of who's get the highest score. So all you do is you take a photo. So I'm going to go again back to my list of. This was my favorite over here. Can you somebody go over here to? You just drop it in, and it's going to give it a critique. I'm confirming this photo is not AI, and it's going to judge your photo. So it has 10 different photo judges that are trained on the Redlands Camera Club scoring because that's the one that I knew best. And it's going to give me a competition score and it's going to give me a critique. What it saw, what it liked, what it didn't like, what holds this image back. Center of interest. The web is the obvious subject, but the frame distributes intentional, fairly even across a field of bottlenecks. So it's giving me a critique of what it thinks that it could do better. Well, let's say I don't like this score. Rescore with a different judge. Pick somebody else.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Hey, I put in some images the other day and it said, oh, these are AI generated. And they weren't.
Well, neener for you. It's not perfect.
Well, I thought maybe there was something in the software that had a glitch or something like that. So,
No. Best scores are over here on the right. And what's nice is you can be a voyeur. And if you want to see what kind of score they got and what. And you know what? I would say that the photos on the oh, look at this one, sports photography. Sheesh, look at that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That is fantastic. Now, is it going to match a photo judge perfectly? Nope, but it's going to be pretty darn good. And then my other one, this is I created here. This is a star trail cleaner. One of the big challenges in star trails is that airplanes. Airplanes and now satellites. So it will go through all of your images and remove all of those airplanes for you. For those of you who have taken images, this is a pain in the rear. It's one of the reasons I would take images. Glenn, this is your photo over here. And look at all of these. I mean, look at the amount of traffic that's in here. And this is satellite traffic. Most of it is satellite traffic, not airplane traffic. But just you run it through the software and cleans it all up. So this has been a passion project of mine. It is free to the Astro community. Excuse me, free to the Astro community. Mac, Windows, Linux, tells you how to do it. Interface is super simple. Tell it where to find the photos. Just browse to where the photos are. It will automatically put a clean folder there. You can create a foreground mask if you want. Just rough it up. Just that way it's just not spending time fixing the ground. Tell it how many images you want it to process. It'll start cleaning your images. I'm going to go ahead. I've already cleaned these ones here. And it will automatically then create a finished star trail for you. Or if you want to give fancy, you can turn it into a comet photo. You can thicken the trail. This is kind of a fun one. and it'll build a new one for you. You don't even have to use other software. You don't have to take it into Photoshop. You don't have to download any software. All created in here right there for you. And it's building, 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 working, working, working. And then when it's done, it will let you know. And
And
it can,
Bruce, if I could chime in, when you used that photo of mine of the tower in Spain, I think it found 1,200 different things to eliminate. Very simple to use. I just want to chime in and tell everybody how easy it is to use. It was wonderful.
thank you. And it'll just run, and you'll get you can create a time lapse out of it with all of the here's the star trail with the comet mode. All of the airplanes, all of the satellites removed for you. Totally done for you. So if you've ever had to do that, it takes hours and hours to remove those. First all-night star trail that I did was um, in Joshua Tree. It took 2 hours to drive to Joshua Tree, 8 hours. I'm sorry, almost. I was there from 8 to 8, so 12 hours of shooting, 2 hours to drive back, 10 hours to edit all of all of the airplane trails that came out of that. It's just too long. Now I can do that same amount of work in less than 60, in less than an hour. All of that stuff is removed. So it's brought some of the fun and joy back into star trail photography. For those of you who went a couple years ago, we went up to Boulder Bay to do that. So that's free. That's an AI project that I myself have worked on. I use Claude um, to write it for me, and so all through text prompts. And so I would show it. I would take screenshots. I would do this exact same process. So there are great ways to use AI in your photography without having to do any of the editing. I'm going to go ahead and hit stop on the record. It's